Hello everyone, my name's AssignMine, and today I'm going to be teaching people how to edit using HitFilm 4. I already have a video like this on my channel, but my friend, who I mainly made it for, was confused, and I can understand why it was a terrible tutorial. So, I'm going to make it a little bit more in-depth, it's going to be a little bit longer, and this video is probably not going to get edited all that much. So right now, I have my example footage right here, this unturned. I got my Audacity open, doesn't really matter, and let's go right into this. So, when you first open up HitFilm, or if you've already used it but you're opening up again, you get this screen. Now, you're going to want to go over here to New. Once you've hit New, just hit Start Editing. This doesn't really matter because when you drop your footage into the editor, okay, after a minor interruption, I am in the kitchen. So, once you drop your footage into the editor, the editor will automatically correct all the settings for you. Now, it might get a little tricky if you have different file formats in the same editor. So one's at 50 frames per second, while the other one's at 30 frames. I'm not sure how the editor will react to that, but usually if you're uploading like a contiguous gameplay, like this unturned that I did, it should usually be fine, or at least in my opinion it's been fine. I did not record my audio with this because it would have added an extra level of complicatedness that really doesn't need to be here. So here you got the editor, and here, let me just undo that. So what you want to do is go over here to this box called Media. You're going to drag this and you're going to move it over, and so put it in the editor. And the next what you're going to want to do is going to go down to this little arrow down here. It's next to this mountain. We're going to go to Preview and set it to None. That'll just help with the playback, so the playback is much smoother. Okay, see? See? It's not stuttering at all. Yeah. So next step is this video here is a bit loud. So see these lines down here? What you can do is drag them down a little bit. So if I go back, you'll notice it's a bit louder. And just for purposes, I can't put it further up, so here, let me drop it down just a little bit more so you can hear the difference. You know, it's quieter. You know, that's good. It helps you with your editing process. I'm going to leave it quieter just so it's not too loud. Yeah. So, you can change your audio by moving this around. This one on the video, though, changes its opacity. So, say you don't want it to be fully visible. Now, I'm going to cut back, and I'm going to grab an example so I can show you why you might want to do this. Okay, so the internet's not working currently at my place, so I can't actually grab an example, but usually you use this to layer your video. So say if you want something barely visible in your video, it kind of appears. So that's what that can be used for. Also, okay. So next, what if you have an intro? So like here, when I'm signing into the game, you don't want your players to see that, or your viewers. So what you do is you would scrub to the point you want them to see. So right here, I get into the game right here, and say I only want this. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click on the timeline or this video right here, make sure it's selected, and we're going to hit splice. Now it's going to have both selected for right now, but now if I click off, you'll see that they're now independent. And so what you can now do is hit the delete key on your keyboard and just get rid of it. So then once it's gone, the video starts from here instead of the other place before. So what if you want to have kind of like an effect when you're coming in? So over here in effects, type fade. This is a very basic one. There's a lot of effects in here, but you go to fade and this button right here, click it and drag it onto the front of your timeline. You might be able to see it, but there's a little green thing right there. Let me zoom in. This was the green thing right here. I'll drag it off. I'll undo that and I'll drag it back on so it's easier to see. There's the green thing. And so now your video fades in. And you can do the same thing with audio. Just repeat the same process. So, like this. Your audio and your video will both fade in. Now, what if you want to add some other cool effects? So, right here, I pull out my gun and I want to hit splice. And then I want to cut to after I shot him. and I just want to remove that chunk. Oh, I made it dumb. So, taking my advice, remember to select the middle one, get rid of it, and then you might want to grab a dissolve. Displacement, temporal, cross dissolve. So here, can I, maybe up here? Yeah, that'll be fine. I wish I could rearrange this, but I had no clue how to. So, what if you want to grab a cross dissolve, and you want these two clips to dissolve? So now, watch this. Now it's a little laggy because the viewing thing. I might be able to change that by changing the viewing quality. You know, it didn't really help. So that's something you can do. But usually I just like using that. I'm not sure what these other ones do. They might work slightly better. I don't know. Sometimes it's lagging, sometimes it's not. It kind of just depends. But yeah. Or if you want to do that, you can just cut to as soon as you hit it to make your video look like it's really laggy. But I suggest you don't do that. So I'm going to undo this cut. Ow. So let's undo the cut. So now the video is back. By the way, if you're wondering how I'm just undoing it, I'm hitting Control and then Z at the same time. Okay, so you know, that's some pretty basic stuff. There's also other stuff that I might go into depth later, but it's more advanced, and I myself is not proficient at it, and I don't want to, you know, lead the blind, as they say. So you've edited your video, you got to the way you like. Now, up here next to edit, you'll see a button called export. Click it. Now, right now I have my YouTube account information plugged in. Usually this will be blank. It's not necessary. It's more of like a convenience than anything else. But what you want to go is from YouTube to MP4. And sometimes if you have a very large file or of like a high bit rate, this will be orange like this. And so what you're going to want to do, if it's too orange, you want to bump it up until it's not orange anymore. So 4.0 was fine for this one. Now, I don't know why it's such a low rate, because this right here is a problem. So let's just go, and this should be 15, and this one should 15-ish. Doesn't have. Oh, I just hit the mic. Great, 15-ish. And this one could be 10-ish. And then you're going to go down and hit this little export button. And then once you do that, you're going to want to pick a destination. For right now, it's desktop, and this is test. And so then we'll hit save. And now it will export it. And you can see time is elapsing and stuff. And I will be back once this is done. For longer videos, this might take upwards of 20 minutes to like an hour. You know, depending on how big the file is, what you've set your bitrate to, you'll kind of get a feel for it, because I'm not a master at this. I've been learning as I go. So yeah, I will be back. And, you know, it's a good thing, like, once this is done, we'll check over the video, or we don't really have to, you know, check it to see if your video quality has dropped. If it has dropped, mess around with your target bitrate right here. Mess around with that and your maximum bitrate. Because usually that determines the quality of your video. So, like, if you're doing a 1080p 60 frames a second video, that would have to be really high, like 70-ish or something, you know? So, like I said, I'll be right back when this is done. Okay, so you can see 4 minutes and 57 seconds have elapsed, and you get this little pop-up that says export complete. Shows you where it's been. You can open folder, OK, or play. I'm going to hit OK. You can choose either one of these, but since I saved it to the desktop, it will be relatively easy to find. And here it is, the little test. Now, let's check it for quality loss. Okay, you know, typical unturned. Now, you know, open this one. You know, let's find that section. You know, nearly the same. And since we did turn down the volume, it's much quieter, which can usually be more pleasant for the listener. So I'm just going to get rid of them. Oh, I can't get rid of that one. Anyway, so yeah. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know it's not, much better than the first one, but I hope it sheds some light. And if it doesn't, I don't know, me and my friend can work something out. So anyone else who might find this helpful, go for it. And, yeah. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Or if you have questions, leave a comment in the video because it's the best way to get a hold of me. And it's one of the easiest ways because I do get pop-ups on my phone like immediately after you ask me a question. So thank you. And goodbye.